Every species on Earth has adapted in extraordinary ways to survive its environment. Fish developed gills to breathe underwater. Birds evolved hollow bones to soar through the sky. Polar bears grew thick fur to endure the freezing Arctic. And then there's us. We can't handle the sun, we struggle to stand upright, and childbirth is so dangerous it kills us more than any other mammal. We're the only species on Earth that looked around at the world it evolved in and thought, something doesn't fit. We experience pain and discomfort in ways no other species does. Take, for example, our skin. Step outside on a clear day, and within 15 minutes, your skin starts to burn. You blister, turn red, and peel. But no other animal on Earth has this problem, not at this scale. Lizards can bask in direct sunlight for hours. Dogs, cats, horses, elephants, creatures that live under the same sun we do, handle it just fine. Their fur, scales, and pigmentation are perfectly designed for the sun. Ours isn't. We literally had to invent sunscreen to protect ourselves from the sunlight that sustains life on Earth. Let that sink in. We created a chemical paste just to go outside safely. Our own sun is trying to kill us. Then there's our back pain. Roughly 80% of humans will experience chronic back pain at some point in their lives. When 4 out of 5 members of a species share the same structural problem, it's no longer an individual issue, it's a flaw in the blueprint. Our spines, for instance, are essentially a horizontal bridge that evolution tried to stand upright. The discs between our vertebrae compress under gravity in ways they were never designed to. Other bipedal creatures like kangaroos and ostriches don't have this issue. Their bodies were built from the ground up to stand and walk. Ours were retrofitted, and badly at that. Then there's childbirth, a process so uniquely dangerous that no other mammal on Earth experiences anything like it. Human babies have disproportionately large heads, making the birth process far more violent than for any other animal. Before modern medicine, childbirth was one of the leading causes of death for women throughout human history. No other species routinely dies trying to deliver healthy offspring. A horse gives birth in about 30 minutes, and within an hour, the foal is up and walking. But human babies, they can't even hold up their own heads for months. We arrive in this world completely helpless, more dependent than any other animal. We need care for years, far longer than any other species on Earth. Next, consider allergies. Your immune system's job is to protect you from harmful invaders, but in humans, this system routinely goes to war against harmless things: pollen, peanuts, dust, cat hair. Around 30% of the global population suffers from allergies. Your own body is attacking the very air you breathe and the food you eat. Either evolution made a major mistake, or your body is simply calibrated for somewhere else entirely. But the strangest part of all this isn't physical, it's psychological. No other species on Earth is aware of its own mortality. Dogs don't stay up at night wondering what happens after death. Dolphins don't face existential crises. Elephants don't build religions to cope with the terror of mortality, but we do, all of us. Humans are the only species that carries the full weight of knowing we will one day cease to exist. And instead of just accepting it, we've spent our entire history trying to solve it. We build temples, write philosophies, and create entire civilizations organized around the question of what happens after we die. But why would evolution do this to us? What survival advantage does existential dread provide? For much of human history, this awareness has driven people to despair, madness, and even war. It feels like a feature that belongs to a species that doesn't quite belong here, conscious enough to sense something is wrong, but unable to figure out what. And then there's the ecological issue. Every species on this planet exists in balance with its ecosystem. Predators control prey, prey regulates plant life, decomposers recycle nutrients back into the soil. It's a closed loop. Everyone plays a part, except us. We clear cut forests, we poison rivers, we pump the atmosphere full of gases that heat the planet. We've driven thousands of species to extinction and continue to do so at an alarming rate. We're not part of Earth's ecosystem, we're taking it apart. And when you think about it, that's exactly what you'd expect from an invasive species. something that's dropped onto a planet it wasn't built for. It doesn't know the rules because the rules weren't made for it. So if we really don't belong here, where did we come from? In 1973, the Nobel Prize winning scientist Francis Crick published a paper that should have made waves in the scientific community. He'd already made groundbreaking discoveries about the structure of DNA, but in this paper, he proposed something extraordinary: directed panspermia, the idea that life on Earth didn't originate here, but was deliberately seeded by an intelligent civilization from somewhere else in the galaxy. Crick looked at the story of life on Earth and said, I don't think this adds up. And honestly, the evidence backing him up is difficult to ignore. Life appeared on Earth about 3.8 billion years ago, but the planet itself is only about 4.5 billion years old. That means complex organic chemistry popped up only 700 million years after Earth formed. A geological blink of an eye. Earth was still being bombarded by asteroids, still a molten hellscape of rock and toxic gas. Yet somehow, life appeared almost immediately once conditions allowed it. Biologists have always found that timing suspicious. Then there's the Murchison meteorite. In 1969, a rock from space crashed into Australia, and when scientists examined it, they found over 90 different amino acids, the building blocks of life. Some of those amino acids are the exact same ones found in every living thing on Earth. Organic chemistry traveling across space on a rock. We know that life can survive in space. Tardigrades, those microscopic eight-legged creatures, have been exposed to the vacuum of space, cosmic radiation, and temperatures near absolute zero, and they survived. In 2019, an Israeli spacecraft carrying tardigrades crashed on the moon, and scientists believe some of them may still be alive up there, just waiting. Life doesn't just exist on Earth, it can hitch a ride between worlds. In 2013, Dr. Ellis Silver, an ecologist, published a book called Humans Are Not from Earth. He pulled together evidence that we are poorly adapted to this planet: sunburn, back pain, allergies, dangerous childbirth. Our circadian rhythms don't even align perfectly with Earth's 24-hour day. He argued that these aren't just evolutionary quirks, they're signs we came from somewhere else. Mainstream biology has a theory for most of it, though. It's called evolutionary mismatch. The idea is that we didn't evolve specifically for this planet. We're just an animal that evolved too quickly, outpacing its ability to adapt to the environment. Our spines haven't had enough generations to fully adjust to upright walking. Our bodies lost hair to regulate temperature, but that means we can't handle the sun. Childbirth is difficult because our brains grew larger too quickly. The environmental destruction, we're just a product of small groups on the African savanna, and we've never fully adapted to managing resources on a global scale. We're not invaders, we're just animals that became too powerful too quickly for our own wiring to handle. But there's still one thing that evolutionary biology can't fully explain: the speed at which we've evolved. No species has ever done what we've done. Dolphins have been around for 50 million years, and they haven't built a single tool. Chimpanzees learned to use sticks millions of years ago, but haven't improved much since. And then there's us. In just 2 million years, we went from sharpening rocks to building nuclear weapons, from fire to the International Space Station, from cave paintings to artificial intelligence. We went from the wheel to the moon in the blink of an eye, and scientists still can't agree on why. Some say it's language, some say it's cooking, which helped us grow bigger brains. Others point to the mutation of the FOXP2 gene, which unlocks speech. But none of these explanations fully account for the speed of it all. In just a few thousand years, we went from being a prey species to running the entire planet. No other species has ever accelerated like that, and even the best evolutionary theories can't fully explain it. Maybe we're not from here after all, but if we are, then we're the strangest thing this planet has ever produced. A species that burns in its own sunlight, breaks under its own gravity, and can't stop looking at the stars wondering where it really came from.